Hey there, I am Chris Palmer, and in today's How to Rank #1 on Google from position 8 or 10 video, what I'm going to share with you is I'm going to share with you 10 tips that will certainly help you get from position 10 to position 1 or 2 in a shorter period of time. So this question comes from Chris with a K. Thank you, Chris. He says, hey, Chris, my website's already at the first spot of Google or on the first page of Google, and I'm so confused on how to improve from here. I've done competitor analysis and I realized that they have an older website, but there has to be something that could be done. Thank you, Chris, in advance. Thank you, Chris. Now I've created a checklist here, and I'm going to pull up a sample SERP to walk you through exactly how you can get from spot 10. All right, up to spot #1 or spot #2. And I've created this short list right here that you can find at SEOmastermind.org. If you just head over to SEOmastermind.org, you'll be able to go ahead and get this. All you'll have to do is you can go in here to explore, come over here to the SEO Masterminds, the free SEO Mastermind. Get access, you'll get the list. With that out of the way, I have to mention with services.chrispalmer marketing for all of your SEO needs, but let's get down to business here. All right, so we're at spot 10. All right, in this particular SERP here, Miami Roofing, the number 10 roofer, if we scroll down the list here, is going to be this site right here, AE Brothers Roofing. Now, I'm just using this as an example. These aren't my websites. It's just examples to showcase things that could help this particular site out and help you. So this is the number 10 ranker. So what I like to do first and foremost, and these are in no particular order, but these are the steps that you need to take. Now, #1 is word counts of top website. Do I have average or close to average word counts of what Google or other search engines are rewarding? So if I open up my website, okay, again, this is just a sample, and then I go and I get top performers. So this is a top performing website. This is Angie's List. That's not a site like mine. That's a top performing website. And this is a top performing website. I take a look using a free tool called SEO Quake. Okay, it's a free Chrome extension. I can take a look at the word count. So here we have a 2278. We take a look at the next top performing website. We take a look here. We could see here 836. And then we could see here TS. This particular website has a 836. I did it twice. Bear with me here. All right, so here's the IS. 2278. TS Roofing is an 836. Okay, and then now we want to go ahead and take a look. We want to get one more, which is going to be this particular website here, my mistake, and it's a 755. Okay, so and here's what I like to do, all right? So I like to get the 200, the 2236, plus the 840, plus the 822 equals 38. You divide that by the 3 sites that we brought in for an average word count of 1,299. So 1,300 words is about average. So what you like to do then is just take a look at your website. Am I hitting the averages? All right. So I'm about you want to go slightly above the average, but just for sake, we're about 200 to 300 words. We're about 300 words off. It would be good to have about 300 more words on this particular page. And that's going to be step #1. Do I have the right word counts, or do I have around about the averages? #2, the body density of primary and variations of the keyword. So for this instance, for this particular sample, okay, of these top performing websites, this being the one with the deficit, this is the number 10. I want to get up there to the top 3. We need to take a look at the primary keyword, which is Miami Roofing. Okay, so when we take a look at this website, all right, so this right here is the site that is in the deficit. Let's take a look at some of the top performers. Here's the #1 ranker. So here's Roof and Roofing at a 4.77 and a 5.17. Now, don't get too hung up on densities because word counts makes these things fluctuate. We can take a look at repeats within the body content, 39 making it a 5% density. Let's take a look at the next person, 2,200 words. We have a 3.86, And then the word Miami is way down here, but here's roofing at a 3.36. I just want to get through this so I could share this with you. Get the primary keyword. For this instance, roofing, Miami. Let's take a look at those keywords and then look at its variations. Roof, roofing, roofers, Miami, Miami, Florida, and Florida, Miami, right? We're looking at those words to see how many times did they use it and what is their density, okay? So we want to take a look at these things. So we have Miami and roofing, 1.67. We take a look at this one, 1.91. Now let's take a look at the site with the deficit. Now, in this instance, we have 67 repeats. The top performer is only using it 39 times. The top performer only has a 5.17 density. And I know that the word counts are wildly off, but what I'm getting at is if the top performer is using it 40 times and my website is using it 67 times, in this instance, we might be using it a little bit too much, but you need to look at primary keywords, secondary keywords, and variations, all right? Take a look, like what is the top person or top people or companies doing as opposed to me when we're talking about word counts, okay? Now, with that being said, we will keep going on here. That is the number 2 piece, body density primary keywords. Now we need to look at heading tags. So there's 2 pieces here, all right? Now, in all honesty, I want to add another one. This will be a bonus. Is optimized heading tags is important, but so is the amount of heading tags. So we need to figure out 2 numbers. How many headings are the top performing websites using for our SERP? Remember, every keyword is different. This analyzation needs to be handled on a keyword by keyword, page by page basis, okay? We need to do this for every page. So we need to look at how many headings are being used, and then also how many headings are being optimized. In order to do this for free and easily, here's what you have to do. So what you do is you come out here to the top performing website. I'll do one example for you. I use a tool called SEO Pro Extension by Marketing Syrup. It's free. There's also SEO Meta in one click is what I used to use. You could use either or. They're both free. They're both great. And they're Chrome extensions. We're going to come in here, click on the headings tab up here at the very top. We scroll down the list. We could see here that they have 9 headings. Okay, this is the number 2 ranker. They have 9 headings. Out of those 9 headings, they have 1, 2, 3, 4 that are optimized. 4 out of 9 are optimized. Okay. Now, if we come take a look at some of the other ones, here's the number 1 ranking website. If we take a look here, this particular website has 10, 16, 17 headings, and optimize means how many of the heading tags have the keyword in it. For this instance, the keyword is Miami roofing, so we're looking to see, hey, how many headings have a keyword or just a piece of the keyword in it? Like just having roofing in there is an optimized zone. Just having Miami in there is an optimized zone. Having Miami roofing in there, that's an optimized zone, all right? So let's keep looking down the list here. We can see here they have 1, 2, 3. Okay, inspections is probably an LSI term, so a co-occurring keyword. So this is important, take note. 4, 5, okay? 6. So 6 out of the 17, all right? So what I would recommend doing is go again to the top 3 performers, all right? So the number 1 guy had 9 headings. The second person had 16 headings, and then the other person had 13 headings. We'll add that all up. We'll divide by the 3 sites to come up with an average of 12 headings. Out of those 12 headings, when we have top performers and secondaries and third performers doing about 30%, go ahead and optimize 3 or 4 of your zones. Definitely get the primary keyword in the title, the URL if you can, and also the H1, and then do a variation of the keyword in your H2, like in near me or something along these lines, but follow what the SERP is doing. If the SERP is optimizing 30 or 40% of their headings, then that's what I would hope to see you for your site, all right? So check this deficit, the amount of heading tags, get an average, lay them in, do the same exact thing for the optimized headings. Figure out how many headings have the keyword in it, and do the same thing on your site, okay? Now, if you want to push the boundaries, you can maybe do 1 extra, but you want to catch up first and then give it time, but we'll talk about that later. So we're going to keep going down the list here. So we talked about headings. Now, age, of course, as you mentioned in your question, Chris with a K, age does play a fact, right? Or a factor. How long has that page been there? We don't necessarily have to look at overall site age, but how long has that page been there? Google's going to trust a site that's 10 years old and that page has been in that SERP for the last 5 years. They're going to be hard to beat, okay? So age plays a factor, but I skipped one, so let's go up here to number 4. Number 4 is internal links pointing to the page you want to rank. So much like you go and you get your backlinks, right? Meaning, I get a backlink from, say you're a roofer site. I probably want to get a link from a roofing directory. Well, that is a external link coming in, or a vote from another website. I'm getting votes from other websites, external links coming in. They're called backlinks. That's link building, right? Well, it works the same for internal linking. I can give internal votes and say like, hey, Google, this page is very important. And you can signal this to Google or to Googlebot by saying, hey, I pointed a lot of internal links to this page. This page is ultra important. I'm pointing all types of internal links to this page. And please, don't be fooled. You don't have to point an actual link. You can link a page to itself if you have to. So let me go ahead and share with you what I mean by this. So here's the top performing website for me for this SERP right now. This is the #1 ranker. What we're going to do is, again, we're going to use that SEO Pro extension by Marketing SERP. I'm not affiliated. It's just a free Chrome extension that I like and use. It's free. When we come inside of here, we can go up here to the links tab and take a look at internal. So they have 121 internal links. Okay, now let's go to the #2 ranker, which I believe is this one right here. Oh, my mistake, it's this one. So they rank #2. So the first guy has or gal or brand has 121 internal links. So they have 121 internal votes pointing to that page saying, hey, there's 121 votes pointing here that say, hey, this is an important page. And that makes sense because it's the home page, right? So now let's take a look at this. So this is the #2 ranker. When we come to links, 105 internal links pointing to this page saying that this page is important. Let's take a look at our page that's number 10 with the deficit. Let's see what they're doing. So we'll come in here. We're going to take a look at links. 64. 64 internal links pointing to this page saying, hey, I'm important. So we have a deficit there of almost 45 internal links. That's a lot. Okay, so internal links, massively important. That's why it's on the list. Let's go ahead and take a look here. We did age already. #6. Are you as fast, but not slower than the top websites? It's not that you have to spend or allocate a lot of mental resource, time, or your budget on speeding up the site. However, if your site is slower than top performing websites, do not, that's a check mark against you. You have to be as fast. You don't have to go crazy and be 10 times faster. Like if they're loading at 1,000 milliseconds, you don't have to load at 1/10 of a millisecond. Like you're not going to get a ranking increase. But if the top 3 people are loading between 500 milliseconds and 1,000 milliseconds, right? A half a second to a second, you want to make sure that you get within that range. So make sure of that, all right? Moving into the next one, are you as fast, or #7, referring domains overall? All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to open up another tool called SEMrush. It's a phenomenal tool. This is the tool that I use on a daily and consistent basis. It is called SEMrush. Now, what we're going to be checking is going to be the amount of referring domains. Now, if you don't have SEMrush, all right, there is a free version that you can use of SEMrush, or you can use ahrefs.com/backlink-checker to look at backlinks and referring domains. You can also use Scrapebox. You can use mods. I mean, there is a magnitude. There's Ubersuggest. There is so many options out there when taking a look. Also, I think WordStream has a free version. Like, do not get hung up. There's also what is called group buys. You could do a search. I'm not going to point in the right direction, but it's up to you. But look up SEO tools group buys. You might be able to find a group buy in order to be able to utilize a tool, a shared account with other people for a fraction of the cost. This is up to you though. So with that being said, I'm using SEMrush. I pay full price for it. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and log in. we're going to log into SEMrush, and we want to take a look at the top performing website, what is called referring domains. Now, just a quick little background on this. There's backlinks, and that could be an astronomical amount, the amount of backlinks, but at the end of the day, it's referring domains in which that moves the needle. This is what we need to look at. This is the metric, RD, referring domains. All right, so what we're going to do is we will go inside of here. Bear with me. So as you can see, I had to re-record this video because the audio was messed up. But with that said, what we'll do is we'll close these out because we want to look at referring domains. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and pull in the top performing website. So TS, I believe they were number 2, okay, because I already had it up. What you want to do is this. If you're using SEMrush, you go to Overview. To the left-hand side is Backlink Analytics. Go to referring domains, and now you want to do a sort, okay? You want to see what the deficit is, but there's 2 deficits. You want to take a look at anything that's active, and you want to check your authority score from 30 to 100, okay? I'm not going to do all of them just for time's sake, but here's what you want to do. You want to look at no follow and follow. Remember, no follow and follow is a directive from the webmaster. Googlebot does whatever it wants. Okay, it follows links. It's called a link spider. It's a spider. That's what it does. It crawls the web. So regardless of the directive of a webmaster, you, the website owner, completely irrelevant whether they follow that link or not. They crawl all links. They all get counted. They even get counted in the tools. Okay, they might not pass all of the power, but they definitely pass something. All right, so let's just keep going here. Count them all. A backlink is a backlink, all right? Especially if it's an authoritative no-follow link. Make sure you're counting it. We're going 30 to 100. We're looking at referring domain deficit. Why? So we can develop a weekly plan in order to build backlinks to the homepage and also service or service-based location pages that we want to rank, all right? We want to make sure that we catch the deficit, okay? If there's a referring domain deficit, we have to catch it. Right? It's mandatory. So when looking at this, let's take a look together. We can see that we're looking at active, all links, and we're looking at an authority score of 30 to 100. We can see that they have 152 referring domains. Now, as a secondary inside the list is anchor text. Let's go take a look just while we're here together, or better yet, let's stay on this topic. 152 referring domains. Let's take a look at the deficit. Now, bear with me here. Usually I would go and look at all 3 performers and get myself an average. Like, how many referring domains do they have that meet this criteria? Okay, I'm only looking at 1 for this instance because of time. Okay, bear with me here. So now we're going to look at the site with a deficit, and we're going to compare it to the number 2 ranker. All right, this isn't even the top performer, but this guy or this company has 152 referring domains that meet this criteria. What we're going to do is throw this inside of here. And now we need to take a look. What's the deficit? So we're going to go to active. We're going to go to authority score. We're going to come inside of here. We're going to go 30 to 100, and we're going to have a look. Remember, 152 is the number of the competition. This particular website has 65. So when we come inside of here and we see that, okay, we have 152 minus 65 brings us to 87. There's 4 weeks in a month. So if you divide that by 8, it brings us to what we need to do is we need to build 11 links a week, all right, for the next 2 months to our pages. So this way we can catch that deficit, because we don't want to do it all in a week. We don't want to do it all in 2 weeks. We don't want to do it all in a month. Why? Because we could risk an unnatural link penalty. So you want to build links to the home page, and you want to build links to the pages that matter most to you and your business, right? But you don't want to do it too quick. So my recommendation is figure out what the deficit is and then split it up over the course of 2, 3, 4 months. Like, split it up. So in this case, I did it over the course of 8 weeks, but you could do it any way that you want. All right, but just remember, not all at once and not all to one page. Build 1 or 2 or 3 links to each of the pages that matter over the and do it weekly. Okay, do it weekly until you catch them, and only build authoritative links. 30 to 100 doesn't matter. It could be follow, it could be no follow. Try to catch them. Now let's take a look at the next piece. All right, referring domains is massively important, but if you want to take it a step further, okay, you can check the follows, okay? If you say, hey, Chris, I'll catch all the no follows with citations and press releases, and it's right, you probably will. Your directories, citations, and press releases will catch the difference quickly for the no follows. But what about the follows? These would be considered what is really driving the site. 30 to 100 follow, active, 33 on our website. So this is the site with the deficit. When we go back to a top performer, the number 2 ranking website, our competition, we're at number 10, they're at number 2. What's the deficit? That's what we're trying to figure out. How are they beating us? Why are they winning, right? Now we're going to look here. AE Brothers, we'll go to follow. Oh, I need to go back one more. Bear with me 1 second here. I want to get that other competitor. All right, so TS, again, these aren't my clients. I'm just using these as examples. If this is your website, reach out if you want me to take this down. All right, now with that being said, we have a 30 to 100. We have a follow. We have active. They have 82. We had what, 35? So there's still a massive deficit of higher powered links, 30 to 100 authority score, right? There's a deficit there. You know, the top performing website has what, 82. So it's 82 minus 35. There's a deficit of 47. So what you can do, again, think of the math. It always comes down to this: time, budget, and also risk. So how much risk is there? There's an equation there, right? I've been trying to figure this out within my mastermind at seomastermind.org, but this is the equation. It's risk plus time, right? And budget equals how many links you should be building on a weekly basis. All right, so you need to decide that for yourself. How much risk are you willing, how risky do you want to be? You want to just blast all the pages? Hey, you could do that, but it's going to be risky. Please think about that before you do it, okay? So let's move on. I don't want to get hung up, but links are massively important. That's why I spent extra time on this, and we still have another section as far as the links are concerned. Let's get back to our list. So we looked at the referring domain averages and what you should be looking at. Now we're going to look at anchor text diversity, okay? When you're building these links, sometimes you're not going to have the opportunity to go ahead and make those changes or suggest what the anchor text is, right? I know it stinks, but hey, it is what it is. Now, if you go into a competitor and you can see it's exact match, meaning they're using the exact keyword that they're trying to rank for, pointing to the exact page that they're trying to rank, well, there could be a little something fishy going on. So watch out for that. And if you see that type of activity, you know that your competitor is not playing, they're playing a different game than what you could be playing. Okay, they're playing a little different game. They're playing a little harder. Okay, so let's take a look at that now. All right, so we will go ahead again, pull up SEMrush. Please note there are a magnitude of free tools out there. I mentioned them. There's Ubersuggest. They have free. They have SEMrush. Free. They have a free version. Moz, free version. Ahrefs, free version. Majestic, I believe, gives you a couple runs. Free version. They have WordStream. They have there. Just look up free backlink tool, and if you get stuck, there's always SEO tools group buys. Okay, flick over is a great option. All right, let's keep going here. Now, when we take a look at anchor text, we could see here this is the number 2 ranking website. So let's take a look now. We're going to go to what is called anchor text. This is the word that they used in order to link over to the website. All right, it's a word. See, a hyperlink or a naked anchor text is just the website name. It's just HTTPS your website. That's called a naked URL. Now, a anchor text that contains a keyword, that could be either a partial match, which means it contains a piece of a keyword. It could be an exact match, which is the exact keyword that they want to rank for. It could be a variation. So it could be if you want to rank for roofing Miami, it could be roofers in Miami, right? Something like that. Or it could be branded. See, the name of this brand that I'm looking at is TS Roofing. So if they just built TS Roofing, that's a branded anchor text. Okay, so now you understand that little piece. But let's go down the list here. When we're going down the list, all right, when we come down this list here, we can see that these guys are pretty slick, right? So this TS Roofing, they're building in what I call extended anchor texts. Now, what I have found, much like I'm sure this brand has figured out, is you get credit for each of the words. So in times long ago, we used to just put one word and we'd get in trouble. What we have found is if we extend the amount of words, we can not only get credit, but we also lessen the likelihood in order to get a penalty. Okay, it seems more natural. All right. So in my opinion, I would stick with either branded or naked. Okay. But if you want to do the extension model, just note it's working now, but things change on a daily basis. I think Google said they make 7 changes a day to the algorithm. 7. So time's working against you, my friends. So with that being said, we take a look here. We take a look at this and we can see that they are utilizing optimized anchor text. They're using brand plus keyword. All right. So if you want to go the safe route, go naked or brand. If you want to be a little bit riskier, this is a little bit riskier, okay? But it gets the job done and it is considered less risky than exact match, okay? So when we take a look at this, we can see they have 83 referring domains containing this, 61 containing this. So make sure in this case, if we're looking at the site that has the deficit, which is going to be this one, it's going to be clear to me they need 83 they're going to need hundreds of links containing the keyword. However they do that is up to them, but we can go in here and see that they already start working on it. Let's take a look. Yep, they sure did. So here's Miami, okay? Here's roofing. So they're already working on it, but they do have less than the leading competition, okay? So again, they are working on it. This company is doing the same thing. It could just be a roofing thing, but let's move on to the next step, all right? We've talked about referring domains. I hope that you understand that. Anchor text, I hope you understand that. Don't get, and this, please, do not overthink. Like, you don't have to figure out percentages. Like, don't go crazy with the anchor text. Just go branded or naked, okay? You can't lose going branded or naked. Believe me, you could potentially lose by doing this or just shoving in keywords. Branded and naked, you won't lose, okay? So let's keep going, okay? As we go through here, I want to go down to the next thing on the list. Talked about anchor text. So number 9 is looking at authority citations and socials. Now, I've talked about this when building backlinks. You want to try to get in what is called the link graph, okay? Getting into the link graph, one of the easiest things that you can do is figuring out, okay, for the top performing websites that are above me, under their name after doing a search, which socials and authoritative directories or citations are showing up. Make sure that you build those and have those. Let me give you an example, okay? Here's an example of what I'm talking about. When we come up here to Google, the search engine, the top performing website, let's say it's this one. All right, so I want to get their name. I'm going to have to go to their site. Oh, it's this one right here, sorry. So what you do is you come over here, and you type this in, site. Now you type this in like this. Just put this in quotes, okay? Just put their website in quotes like this. And then go down the list. Look down the list. So these are, a lot of it's going to be their website, and that's fine. That's what we want. But we want to see what authoritative, is there any authoritative link? So here, we could just do it this way. I'm looking for authoritative. Okay, so here's the socials that are being rewarded. If you don't have a Facebook, get a Facebook. In this case, they have a Facebook page. If you don't have one, get it. A LinkedIn, again, they built out a business profile on LinkedIn. They have a Better Business Bureau listing. They have a Zoom info listing. If you don't have these things and you're in this space competing, go and get them, all right? These are free. So here we go, Nextdoor. Again, this is something you can go build. Go build it. Get into the link graph. These are authoritative directories and citations for this niche, for this SERP that your competition has. These are mandatory links that you need to go build, okay? Mandatory. So let's take a look here. Nextdoor, Yelp, okay? Now we're getting into the other stuff, but they're listing it in order. This is the sort order of importance, all right? So build the ones up at the top first. But don't stop at just the leading competition. Don't stop at just the first ranker. This is the #1 ranking website. I put this in here. Go to the second and go to the third. What are the best citations, directories, and socials that these companies have? Make sure you build them. Get into the link graph, especially when talking about citations, socials, and directories, okay, for local businesses. All right, moving on. The next piece on the list is this. 10, supporting content. Building links to supporting content. Check internal links from non-relevant pages. Schema markup, videos, lists, unstructured lists, and how many bolts. So this is a bunch of little tips here. All right, so let's take these one at a time. So let's first and foremost, let's spell supporting, right? Supporting content. So what is that? Now, say you're this website, okay? Again, this site has a deficit. Now, say we want to go out here and rank for residential roofing, but we're having some trouble, okay? We've done all of the steps, the previous steps, and the other steps that are to come. We're looking for a little bit of a boost. One of the things that you can do is build out supporting content. And what I mean by this is if I want to rank for, in this case, this is an example, residential contractor Miami. If you do the parent-child structure, say you're using WordPress or you're using a floating silo, we build out supporting content. It's content to support the main idea. So for this, it's residential contractor Miami. You know, well, what you can do is this. Residential contractor, roofing contractor. I'm just going to give you one example. Contractor Miami. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to look for people also ask. See these questions here? And then, or you can go down in here, other related searches. But what you're looking for is to answer questions that are frequently asked when looking for a primary keyword. So if I want to rank for residential roofing contractor Miami, and I want to build out supporting pieces of content, the two places to look for questions to answer, okay, if you haven't already answered them in your content, is people also ask, and if you need more ideas, click the button, okay, like this. It's going to give you a list of questions that could be answered as supporting content. This is whole other pages, but are in the same structure. Or you can scroll down to the bottom and also get questions, but usually related search terms won't be questions, okay? It's going to be related terms, but sometimes you get lucky, all right? Now, with that being said, that's supporting content. How it will look is like this. So say we scroll down here, how much does it cost to replace a roof in Miami? Well, say we have this residential contractor Miami, that piece of content, people ask, how much does it cost, right, to replace a roof in Miami? Now, that supporting piece of content, why we do this is to build relevance around our topical silo, We're building out topical relevance for the top level page, the home page and the page that's before us. Now, what we can do now is we can build less expensive links or no follow links to that informational content that's supporting the main topic. So we could build our links to this page here. You know, the people also ask questions that we just answered. We could build links into that. Okay, we could build links and we're supporting the main idea. Let's keep going down this list. I did a bunch of tips here. So we have supporting content. That's how you do that. Building links to the supporting content. I covered that. Usually it's going to be cheaper or less expensive stuff. Okay. Check internal links from non-relevant pages. So this is something I run across, and this could be hindering your ability to rank. In this instance, let's say when we come on here, okay, on our top website, this particular gentleman or website owner, this business owner, has residential and commercial. See how this right here is a residential drop down? This is everything that has to do with residential roofing. So it's residential roof repair, residential construction, residential replacement, residential coating, residential, right? Residential. At no time should the content or anything from the content silo, like say I start building out these pages and I build out supporting content, those pages all link to each other. Okay, if you want to internally link those crazy, by all means, go right ahead. At no time should that content silo link over to the commercial roofing side. So that you have a commercial silo as well. See this? Commercial roofing company, commercial roofing fabrication, commercial roofing spray foam. The commercial stuff should never link over to the residential. Okay, we want to keep that topical silo or cluster, however you want to look at it, keep that together. Linking around will impact you. Might not right away, but I've seen it happen to me. So trust me on this one. Don't outlink from that stuff. Anything residential stays residential. Anything commercial stays commercial. Anything in your silos, and this goes the same for your locations. If I build out a location-based service silo, say in this instance, it's going to be Miami roofing. So Miami roofing, Aventura roofing, I don't know, Pembroke Pines, right? All Florida stuff. But say I have another state and I'm doing the same thing. Say it's Texas. I have Texas. I have Austin, Texas, Dallas, Texas, right? Texas, Texas, Texas. Yeah, they're both roofing. But at no time should the Dallas or Texas side link over to the Florida side, okay? There should not be cross-pollination, but all those city pages can link to each other, okay? Keep your topical clusters or your topical silos together. Make sure that they're all helping each other. Link down and back up, all through the body content, in the headers, the footers. Like, make sure that those are linking to each other and all helping each other. The same goes with your supporting content, all right? So we're going to keep going here, all right? Again, I'm giving, these are the last couple tips. There's more than 11 here, but I want to give you as much as I can. Like, these things will impact your rank, guaranteed, okay? Might not shoot right up to number 1 right away, but this will certainly help move the needle. You clear these deficits up, I guarantee you start getting a ranking increase. Let's keep going here. Check internal links from non-relevant pages. We talked about that. Let's talk about schema. Using that same free extension that we talked about before, SEO Pro extension by Marketing SERP. I'm not affiliated, it's just a great tool, okay? When we take a look at this, we can see here, let's go to the top performing website. So it's Perkins Roof. Again, I don't know who this is, but we come in here to schema, web page breadcrumbs. We go to the number 2 ranking website. We go to schema, web page breadcrumbs. Now let's take a look at the deficit website. The deficit website has, let's see, web page, contractor, web page. Okay, so web page, contractor, web page. They don't have breadcrumbs. Now, do I think that that's a ranking signal? Not necessarily. But if I came in here and there was no schema and all the other top performers had schema, I'd get schema on the page. So try to match and mirror with our schemas. If you want to go above board, you can. But note, in my opinion, in my experience, it's not a ranking factor. But I still like to have what the leading competition has. Let's keep going down the list here. So we talked about schema. Oh, if we're looking at the top 3 websites, and again, every SERP, right? You put a keyword in. Those top rankers, that's a SERP. Every SERP is different. This list needs to happen on every single page. The analysis, the job, the work, it's immense. I know. I do it every day. But we need to look and see, are they using videos? Are they using lists? Like, do they have a list? Like 1, 2, 3, 4? Do they have dots? That's called a list and an unstructured list, okay? Then we have to take a look at, do they have bolds? Do they have videos? How many outbound links do they have? Are they linking to like a .gov or a .edu site? You need to look at these things. These are little tweaks, like the schema, the videos, the lists, the unstructured lists, the bolds, the italics, right? Taking care of the bigger stuff is like the headings, the optimized headings, the word counts, right? That's the bigger stuff. This stuff down here is a little bit smaller, but now you're turning the bolts, right? You're turning the screws. The next thing, and last but not least, is when you make changes, okay, and I should have put this up at the top. When you make any of these changes, okay, if you're making on-page changes, give it 7 to 10 days. It might be shorter, but give it a week to 10 days. After you make a change, do not touch that page because you need to be able to see if what you did, because there is such a, you could go slightly over on word count and be over-optimized in that particular zone, in that section. For the body content area, you might be over-optimized. That could throw off your page. What I'm getting at is when you make changes, make them and don't touch it. If it's on page, give it 7 to 10 days. If you're building links, whether they're follows or no follows, internal, external, watch those pages. But do not expect any type of results. You might get it faster, but don't expect anything for at least 45 to 60 days when building backlinks. Again, it might come faster, but after you build backlinks, if you go right up, hooray. But if you go down, don't touch anything. Trust me, just sit and wait. You will recoup. Now, if you keep going down, well, you might have got into some poison ivy, right? But give it time. Links take time. On pages a little faster, but be patient. My name is Chris Palmer. If you have any questions, please go on over to the SEOmastermind.org. I just posted this list. If you want this list, it's in the free group at SEOmastermind.org. If you need anything SEO service related, please go to services.chrispalmermarketing.com. I can help you with any of your service needs. If you have any questions related to this topic or anything else digital marketing or SEO related, please feel free to go ahead and ask in the section below. I also want to thank Chris with a K for this question, and I look forward to seeing you in the next How to Rank #1 from position 10 on Google in 2022 video. Thank you for your time. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Good night. Or good day, depending on where you're at. Bye-bye. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Not bye-bye. It's I'll see you later. I'll see you later.